going on, everybody? We are starting a different show this week. I had to have a little bit of a root canal situation problem going on, so we're recording today, and I'm going to try to see if I can make it air on Friday. So I don't have a really format for this one, but I do need to test a lot of equipment that I've been blessed enough to get, and so I have on today a bunch of my nephews and my brother Javis on here. So let me see if I can get this working so we can hear it. So we'll start with, I think I picked the wrong one, but Super 564. So,
Hello, everyone. This is Jay from Super 564. Always check me out on Instagram and Snapchat at Super 564. You'll find me there. Thank you so much for joining us, and it's an honor to be here.
that's too much information. All right. So we're gonna try to get everybody else's on here. I don't know how the audio is gonna work. I'm trying to see if I'm getting everybody's audio at the same time. So as much as anyone is tuning in tonight, like what's going on, it's more of a test than an actual show. But we will get engaged and talk about a few things to see if this new technology works. Or we're using something called Rendezvous inside of something called live cast to allow everyone to actually communicate. So I'm gonna try to. I'm changing a setting on here so it'll do an automatic live switch as opposed to me just cutting back and forth to make it a little bit easier. So right now we're gonna go to Jalen, and Jalen can say hi.
Hello, I'm Jalen. I'm his nephew, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, that was way too much information. All right, now we're gonna go to Javon and see if that works.
Hello, it's Jovan.
Yeah, that was way too much information on that one. And the Javon to be one syllable, not two. Last but not least, we got Julian over here.
Uh, my name's Julian, and hello.
Yeah, I already said what your name was, so it didn't matter. Anyway, so we are so glad to have you guys here. So I'm gonna test a few things out to see how we'll be able to incorporate some of this cool technology that we have. I'm gonna do it on the fly as we're doing it. But there's a lot of cool things that you can kind of do over here in creating shots and things of that nature. So we're gonna try that. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is video games because that's something that all three of us, all four of us, if I add everybody in there, one, two, three, four, including me, five of us do, and it's gonna be a great conversation. So let's start with. We'll start with my brother first, Javis. We were talking about Borderlands 3. Why are you so excited about that game coming out?
Well, personally, for me, it's I don't play a lot of video games anymore, so there's only a handful of video games that I'm actually going to go out spend money on or get on my Xbox. And there's usually games that I played prior that I still love, or something new that just changes the game. For me, Borderlands, when it first came out, it kind of changed the game for first person shooter. It gave you that feel that the old four person first person shooter games were like. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm hearing myself. If you hear a pause, that's why. um, but the biggest thing about it is I loved the feeling of that old James Bond 007, Perfect Dark. Those games are the games that I grew up on. So to actually get to a game now, Borderlands, that was able to duplicate that effect and that feeling for me, it meant a lot. So I followed the games throughout one and two. I didn't get the Handsome Jack collection, but now with three coming out, I'm excited to play this one, see where it takes us, and see the storyline develop even more. So really excited for that one.
Jalen, the same kind of question going on here. Why are you kind of excited about Borderlands 3 coming out?
Well, because I've always liked the Borderlands games, and then so first one I played by myself, like with no friends, so it wasn't really that fun to me. It was still fun, but it was kind of like bland. The second one I got it, and I had three other friends, and we played the entire game with each other. different from each other. And I know the new one, I'm pretty sure they said that in this one you'll be able to upgrade them with different traits and different abilities. So that's going to be really cool. So just fun. I can't wait to play it.
So I might have cut Jalen off through all of that. So hopefully that got through. We'll find out or not. Um, Again, like I said, this is kind of a test run to see how it's going. And again, I'm on pain medication, so you guys must forgive me because literally had a emergency root canal done yesterday. I had people that I had lined up for the show, and I've been canceling left and right because I got to take care of me first. So I know we got two others to talk to, which is Javon and Julian, but I kind of want to bring something a little bit different to the table when it comes to Javon. I kind of want to know: are you really interested in video games, or are you more interested in just playing with your family and your friends, or is video games something you're really actually interested in?
I actually love video games. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. Like video games, I feel like puts you more a part of it because with like TV shows and movies, you're just watching. But with video games, you kind of like live with the characters and you see through the characters and you get to make your own decisions throughout the story. You get to figure out everything. So it's just a lot more fun to actually be a part of video games, whether you're by yourself or with friends and family.
Do you have a favorite video game?
Uh, that's I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, there's like some games like Injustice and Mortal Kombat, but then there's other games like Borderlands that are really awesome. So it's just yeah.
But everything you
Kinda.
named was multiplayer, so does that mean you're more interested in a multiplayer aspect of games, or are you more interested in a single player aspect? Of, like, what determines that?
I think I like playing with other people because it just like bouncing off the ideas of other people is like kind of cool. I do like single player stuff, but playing with somebody else is a lot of fun too.
All right, Julian. So for you, kind of like the same type of question, but are you more of a multiplayer or a single player? And if you are a multiplayer, is it more about playing with your brothers, or is it more about playing with your friends, or it really doesn't matter to you?
I don't know. It's like what I'm in the mood to do. So I will play with friends for hours upon hours. But I also love a game with a good story mode. Like I love Assassin's Creed or I love playing Shadow Mordor. But I also could play Black Ops 2 with friends for like 10 hours straight. Or like Modern Warfare's coming out and all my friends are excited for it. So I know I'm gonna play that all the time. But like Borderlands is also coming out, which is a campaign game and I know I'm gonna love that game too. So it's what I'm in the mood for.
All right, Javis. So with that being said,
I was
I
going to
guess
tell you to come to me next, which is so funny.
what did you have something you want to say before I ask a question?
Of course, my name is James, Super 564. So, what I wanted to ask you, Joe, is we were having a prior conversation about the fact that do you think the new Borderlands or even the new FPSs out there, first person shooters, should they all have that Fortnite Apex dynamic where you can invite up to 10 to 15 people? Or are you still okay with just a four-person game? Does that make it more intimate? Does that make it more of a adventure? Which would you prefer going forward with Borderlands? Because now we know that technology is possible and it's popular.
I'll be honest. For me, I think I'm out of the video game world the way that I used to be. It's kind of sad for me. I can't seem to catch up with the aspect of Apex, the aspect of Fortnite, how people are playing Call of Duty now. Those used to be my games, and I used to be the person that could be on them all day, every day, and not have an issue playing them with the little bit of the carpet tunnel going on a little bit. When it comes to those types of games, it makes it a lot more difficult for me. So the real question you're asking is, am I okay with that many people being able to be engaged at one time? And honestly, yes. I see how a good example, Jalen, Julian, Javon, their world is extremely social. That's what we talked about in our last show, and how social they are, being able to actually do everything. So because they live in such a social world, if you play the games that me and you, Javis, used to play back in the day, it's not social enough. We had a social aspect to it. It's hard saying social with my mouth the way it is, which is funny.
I
Um, uh, we had the ability to have a social aspect to it, but it isn't as strong and as engaged as it is today. But the benefit that, like I said, Jalen, Julian, Javon, and any of my other nephews and nieces that play video games, the thing that they have is it's all interconnected. So you should be able to get on your Xbox or your PlayStation, see your friends on there that are either maybe on Facebook or whatever, send them a message. They pop onto the game, they play with you, you have a lot of fun, do whatever, and then you get back off. I don't have those kinds of relationships in the game world. I have them in the family world. So if I'm going to be playing a multiplayer game, it's going to be my family members. When I'm playing in a group that I don't know, it's usually one of the people on the game saying, "Dude, you need to get off. You don't know how to play this game." That's literally been every single time that I played to where my self esteem has dropped down because it was like some dude was like, "Does he even know how to play this game?" I was like, "Yeah, I know how to play this game," and he was like, "I don't think you know how to play it." Keep in mind, these kids are like 7 or 8 years old, and they're just dusting me in these games. And I was like, "What happened?" To where I was so up there with these games, and now my nephews and even you, James, you guys have surpassed me on what I do. So in most cases, I stick to single player. So something like Cyberpunk or games like that are coming out are more interested. I'm more interested in playing. But if you guys are like trying to say, let's all get together and play Borderlands, a good example, and I'm even going to show James' face as I'm talking about this, is James and I were playing Borderlands 2, and Javis and I will be playing, and it'll be like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and Javis is excited, he's playing, and then he was like, "Joe, what are you doing?" And come to find out, I have fallen asleep, so my character is literally walking into a rock, and just walking over and over into the rock.
Straight ahead.
And James was like, "I don't think you can play anymore, Joe." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to bed." And I realized my aspect of video games, it literally started changing dramatically because I can't play and keep up like I used to before. I can get up and play video games until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm good to go. But nowadays, it does not work that way for me. So
there would literally be like so many there were so many moments where we're sitting there playing, and I'm fighting. And I look over, and you're just standing there getting shot up. I was just like, "Are you? Are you?" I was like, "I might as well play this by myself."
Yeah, and you did. That was the funny part I was going to say at the end of the story. James went ahead and played it with another friend, beat the game, said it was one of the greatest games he's ever played. I have tried to play Borderlands 2, I don't know how many times, which is kind of coming to my next subject, because Borderlands 2 is like for Xbox Game Pass, the whole, not the trilogy, I think it's the second one, and then the prequel to that one or something like that. Captain, is it Handsome Jack or something like that? So that was going to be my next question. Video games are changing in the aspect of being able to have access to them. What I've noticed is that I don't really buy a Xbox game anymore. I buy PlayStation games because they don't have that option yet. But for when it comes to Xbox Game Pass and even the new version where it's the Game Pass and the Live all mixed up into one, I have an account with them until 2021 where I don't have to pay anything. Until then, I had to put so much credit in that I had forgotten about. And it all came in together when they did that new plan. And all the games that I want, Forza Horizon, I played all the Tomb Raiders. I played Just Cause. The list just goes on and on how many free games I've been able to play on Xbox. Technically, it's not free because you're paying a monthly fee every month, blah, blah, blah. But you have access to about 100 games. And those games aren't like some like stupid little crappy game or those little 2 or 3 hour games. It's like huge, massive AAA games that you can play. And that has changed my world to where I find myself more on my Xbox because I have so many choices of games to try and play, beat, or whatever, as opposed to on my PlayStation where I really have to go out and pay the $60 or whatever plus tax to play one of those games. So are any of you actually using the Game Pass? And then I'll click on you guys to talk about it.
Okay, I'll start because I want to bring up the fact that growing up in the age of like the first Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and all of those old games that me and you, Joe, used to play growing up, how much more convincing would it have been to get mom and dad to spend money on video game if we told them they only had to pay so much a month?
I would say I'm going to interrupt you because I'm going to say zero because at that time nobody was doing subscriptions. Subscriptions are the popular thing now. You got the Netflix, Hulu, and all. I realize that even I have a subscription to TV because it's so much easier now. I got the PlayStation View, Hulu, Netflix, Showtime, HBO, and when I add all that stuff together, it equals the same amount of me just actually having a regular cable thing. So we're gonna deny your question, Javis, and we're gonna go to
Whatever.
Jalen and ask him the question of how does he feel about being able to subscribe and getting all those access to those video games. Jalen?
It's actually like really cool because like you were saying, it's not like because I remember there'd be different subscriptions where it'd be like weird indie games that no one played, but like now, I think you can get the Game Pass for like $1 for a month, and then but you have games like all the Arkham games from Batman. You can get Monster Hunter, which is a critically acclaimed game everybody loves. There's so many like different things you can do with that. I guess Xbox is making money because they wouldn't just do that if they weren't making the amount of money they want. So I guess we just got to keep getting them so we can keep getting those kind of benefits.
The other question I'm going to ask you, Jalen, later on is why were you talking so loud and why is that fan on so high? But anyway, we're going to go to let's go to Julian. And what do you think about the Xbox games and the fact that the Game Pass is it something that you like, or what do you think about it?
I personally do not use it, but I do really want it because like there's so many games that you can just like get bored. Say I get bored of playing Black Ops or any other game. I'm like, I want to do a new game. Like there's so many options with the Game Pass, and it's like I don't know. It's like you get to just when you're bored, you can pull up any game or a game you want to play for a while or a game you forgot about. You can just pull up, download it, and play it for free for just the Game Pass, which I find really cool. But I just don't have it.
All right, so we're going to go to Javon because looks like Julian was actually trying to sell us a Game Pass as opposed to telling us how he felt about it. So, Javon, do you actually like the Game Pass? Is that something you would like to use, or do you actually see there's no point to it because you only play a certain amount of games and you only like a certain kind?
I actually got the Game Pass for a bit, so I used it and I really liked it. I got games like Just Cause, I got Tomb Raider, I got some of the old Resident Evil games. It was just and like I could just get them all, and I played them all, and I beat them all, and then once I was done, I could jump to the next game. So it was really fun and kind of worth it because I only spent $1 on it for the month, and I for all those games for just $1, it was probably the best dollar I've ever spent.
Well, who in your house has the PlayStation? Is that you or is that someone else?
That's me.
Okay, so
the one who never plays.
hey, we're not gonna talk. We're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that. So you do have the PlayStation. So, do you find yourself more on the Xbox than you do the PlayStation, and why?
I do play on the Xbox more because we always get our games with Xbox, but there are also games on PlayStation that I think are better than Xbox, like Infamous, Spider-Man PS4, Uncharted, like those types of games, even God of War. Like I feel like those games are way better than a bunch of the Xbox games, but I can't get them as much, so I don't play on the PlayStation as much.
All right, we're cutting to Julian because for some reason he decided to put his mouthpiece on from football. The game's over. You played hard. We're proud of you. Now take it out of your mouth so you can actually talk to us. And now we're gonna go to let's see, back to Jalen, with the fan on high. So now that you guys have the choices of Xbox and the PlayStation, the questions that people are asking about video games now is what about when it comes to your mobile device? Are you playing the games on there? Or is that more, this is my social media world from my phone and my video games? I'm still dedicated to an actual console.
For me, I remember Fortnite came out on mobile, and people played it for like a couple weeks, but that was about it. And there are a lot of cool games on mobile, Like I've seen YouTubers play different games, but I don't really see a need for playing mobile game unless you're out on the go and don't have a Switch.
That makes sense. So that's why we're gonna go to Javis for this one because Javis actually has a job, unlike the rest of y'all, which is understandable. So he actually is a person that's more on the go. He is a younger version. So Javis, are you into the mobile games, or are you like, I don't even touch that stuff. I come home and I play games.
No, I am just as much into the mobile games. And the thing about it is, for someone that does have a retail type of job where your schedule changes on a constant basis, it's hard to get a group of people together that you want to play with and then constantly set up a schedule, because at some point in time you're going to miss that schedule. So for me, I play whatever I think is fun, and I had to get my mindset out of I only play this or I will only play these types of games or whatever. If I check it out and it seems fun, I'm going to. Right now, I would actually like to shout out. There's a new video game place here in Woodbridge, or close to me in Dumfries, in Woodbridge, called Tech Time Gaming. You pay $5 and you can play for up to, I think it's like $5 for 2 hours or something along those lines. And then you can just add on whatever time you need for whatever hour. But me and my friends have found it a great way to go and check out a game that we don't want to put money down on, but we just want to check out. And then if we like it, we buy it. There was a game that I really enjoyed that I ended up getting for mobile that was actually on the computer. And I went there, I played it. I was like, this is really dope. I want to see if they have a mobile version. And come to find out, the account that I made at Tech Time Gaming transferred over to my mobile device, and I had all the stuff that I was playing with that was at Tech Time Gaming, which was super cool. So
I'm gonna cut Javis off right there because they're not paying us for this, so then there's no point in even talking about them. And I missed that part on Julian where I actually sorry to Javon where I want to say is just cause, not just cause. So with that being said, we got to go ahead and end this because we've been going on for a little bit long. But I want to thank all you guys for being able to use this rendezvous session with me because it's something I want to kind of add. There are people in different states, in different countries that I'm actually trying to get in the process of being able to communicate with and actually do a show with. And you guys are giving me like a great example of how it works. If you go to Javon, you can see how his is a little bit smaller, probably because he needs to get him a better iPhone. And then if you go to Jalen right here, you can see him a little bit clearer, but again, that fan is on, so we can barely hear him. So he had to talk a whole lot louder. And then when you even get to Julian right here, he's been chill for the most part. He's got the best look and everything, but he's got so much headroom over there. It makes no sense whatsoever. It makes him look like he's 4 feet tall. And last but not least, we got James, who actually has like the perfect shot. He's close enough on the screen and everything. But what they're all missing is the most important thing is 16:9, people. Come on, it's 2019. All you got to do is turn your phone sideways. Then everybody can see you a whole lot better. You get this much room instead of just this little square. See how everyone just kind of turned it right now? You see it looks a lot better. You go to Julie, see all that? It looks beautiful. And there's still people who just do not know how to understand it. Thank you, Jalen, for proving that point. Oh, and this is just embarrassing because it's a small little square. That's why we didn't go to you that much. It's just very embarrassing. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We had so much fun doing this. Y'all keep praying for me and my tooth so I can get the root canal done. I'm on heavy meds, so I'm getting ready to go to bed. But thanks for tuning in for another dialogue. And I'm going to turn this show into a new series where I'm going to start getting family members on here to talk about games and movies and things that we love and want to talk about. So take it easy. Have a great one. See you guys later. Peace.